Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo, what's good with it? It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge, each one teach one, peace and love. Reporting live from the Dogon. It's the homie Mac. Real quick, we got another session of Mackin' with Mac, book review series. Today I will be reviewing the book How to Argue with the Racist by none other than Adam Rutherford. Let's see. This book was published by, who was this book published by? Give me 1 second. The Experiment, based out of New York. Adam Rutherford himself is a geneticist by trade, I guess. Yeah, geneticist. I don't want to get into a lot of scientific nomenclature, talking about meiosis, mitosis, the Krebs cycle, cell division, a lot of, or even higher level scientific realities. I don't want to get too deep into that. I want to keep this simple. I would say that the gist of this book is that race itself is a social construct. It is a man-made idea. If I were to, myself as a black man, if I were to have sexual relations with a white woman, we would bear a child. She would bear a child. If a Latino man was to have sex with an Asian woman, they would have a child. They would bear, another human being would come from that union. As far as, how do I say it? As far as our anatomy, we all breathe the same air. Breathe in oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide. Is it? Yeah, I think so. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Google it. We all need food. We all need the 7 essential nutrients. What are the 7 essential nutrients? Water, dietary fiber, carbohydrates, protein, vitamin, minerals. I think that's 6. That was 6. Fat being 7. We all need nutrients to survive, nutrients to build our cells up. We are all human beings. We are all one. Scientifically speaking, we all are the same biological phenomenon. And one of the things I thought was interesting pretty much the whole premise of this book, besides saying that race is a social construct, the other large dynamic within this book is just the fact that, how do you say it? The fact that, again, not only that race is a social construct, we're all one, we're all human beings, but also this book, it attacks the idea of racial superiority. It talks about how there's some men in London, I think somewhere in the UK, they get together and they take their shirts off and they chug gallons of milk to prove their racial superiority, because Europeans, from my understanding, are the only people who genetically can process lactose and not get diarrhea or bubble guts or have a negative reaction. So in some vain way, they think that speaks to their racial superiority. But the fact of the matter is there is no racial superiority. There are people who may be able to run faster, jump faster, but that does not speak to every member of that race. Every black man is not Michael Jordan. Every white man is not Bill Gates. There are social norms that we've created to say that certain people contingent upon their skin tone, they're least intelligent. Contingent upon their race, not skin tone, but I guess skin tone, their race. The blacker you are, the darker you are, the less pain you feel, the less intelligent you are. The whiter you are, the more beautiful you are, the more intelligent you are. And that's pretty much what this book gets at. That again, a lot of these things that we foist upon people, your race is better at this, your race does this well. None of this stuff is scientifically proven to be true. You know, one of the things he talks about, like there's a group of, I want to say they were in Kenya, There was somewhere in Africa, I can't remember exactly, but in the book he just talks about how they produce a lot of great long distance runners. And it got to the point where people thought, okay, these people are just genetically predisposed to being great at long distance running. When the fact of the matter is, no. It's not that they had any type of genetic predisposition towards being great long distance runners. It's the fact that their culture cultivated long distance running. So what happens? You create a culture, whereas long distance running is of a high premium. You train people, and that becomes your culture. So the generations that come after, long distance running becomes a thing. That becomes a thing. That becomes the training, the means of the hallmark of that culture becomes long distance running. So there's a generation of kids that come after being pretty much socialized to become long distance runners. And they're being trained, they're getting knowledge and information, so they carry the torch. It's not that any particular group of people have a genetic predisposition that makes them superior. A lot of times he talks about how culture and social interaction, social realities, a lot of people are, as a byproduct of culture and social realities, people tend to have more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? They seem to have more of a disposition to be good at certain things, to be great at certain things. Like for example, if you go to Indiana, what's Indiana known for? A lot of great basketball players. You have a lot of great basketball players that are coming out of Indiana. Larry Bird, Sean Kemp, Zach Randolph, the list goes on. Indiana has created this culture of basketball. It's not that every dude in Indiana can hoop, but there's been a social norm, a hallmark, if you will, where basketball becomes a premium and that culture is cultivated. So that's one of the main things I like about this book. How he pretty much says, like, look, there is nothing that just biologically, and I know some people may argue against this, but there is nothing biologically that just inherently makes people better than other people. Other than, again, the culture that they're submerged in, which may give them more of they may have more of again, a disposition to be great at that thing. But just to say, like, across the board, everybody's this way, everybody's that way, it's just not, it's scientifically baseless. It's bad science to say that because you're white, or because you're Asian, rather, you have a predisposition, you have a genetic predisposition to be better at mathematics. Or because you're black, you have a predisposition to run fast and jump high. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Some people do, you have genetic outliers in every group where they have the hardware, I guess the genetic hardware to be great at certain things. But again, just across the board, that does not ring true. That does not resonate true across like the whole spectrum for all races of people, if that makes sense. But yeah, let me see if I can, okay, this really, in summation, this really sums up the culture of this whole book. Racism is an expression of prejudice, whereas science in principle is free from subjectivity and judgment. Good science. So, and by good science being objective, not leaning towards your bias. This book, one of the things I like that he talked about, when he talked about the transatlantic slave trade, for example, millions of Africans were transported and millions died en route from disease or by jumping from ships because they knew death was better than bondage. The survivors of the journeys were not kept separate by country or origin, nor could they possibly have been being traded like cattle and plantations around the Americas. Perhaps as databases grow and work continues with ever more fine-scale analysis, it might be am I saying that right? Wrong? It might be possible for DNA to identify that some ancestors were from particular regions or even particular tribes as they stand today. But as everywhere, even with this grotesque history in place, everyone has 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, and so on. And with notable levels of admixture within Africa, the purity of the genetic signals that might reveal something as precise as country will be blurred. The messiness of human movement and the desire to reproduce, be it via consensual partnership or acts of cruelty and wickedness, rendered the concept of singular geographical origin nonsensical. I just kind of quoted that just to say how he talks about how, I guess essentially how like a lot of things come into play in our genetic pool, how we've been moved from region to region, whether it be forcibly or just by travel. And that plays a role in our dispositions, our environment as well. I know, what was it? I know that, you know, a lot of people like to have pride and nationalism, but we have to understand, like, there is no such thing as a superior race. You know, I'm not, what is it, I can't remember the name of it. It's like I'm not even gonna go there, but there is no superior race. It'll come to me after this video probably. Hopefully it'll come before. I guess it'll come after. But no, this is a good book. This pretty much this book essentially talks about how you can use science as a means to just thwart a lot of racist leanings, a lot of propaganda. You can attack it with science. And I like how they talk about the guy who created the Human Genome Project. I can't remember his name, but in this book they talk about it and how even though he was a contributor to the world of science, he was a racist. And they give him his credit for the Human Genome Project and how it, you know, was very forward in thinking, and it's helped us it's helped the science community gain a greater understanding in genetics and just how the human body works. But they acknowledge that this guy was a racist. And it's like, they put his name up and then there's like an asterisk. But he was a racist and he was a bigot. But yeah, good science is about objectivity. Good science is about what's funny. Good science is about finding what is objectively real, objectively true. I know I kind of was all over the place with this book review. But yeah, I liked how he used the example of Jesse Owens, who was running in the 36 Olympics, and how, you know, Hitler had this idea of the superior race. We are the Aryans, and we're pure, and we're athletically superior, stronger, more intelligent. And Jesse Owens ran in the Olympics and blew them out the water, beat the Germans. And they said, you know, this pretty much negated a lot of Hitler's claims. And after Jesse Owens won, Hitler didn't even want to shake his hand. He just left the arena. But yeah, great book, How to Argue with a Racist. You know, I want to send peace and love. Shout out to everybody who is trying to push humanity forward in a positive way and has a sense of humanity about themselves and really wants to move with the spirit of justice. This is a great book to read. I think the only people who would have a problem with this book are people who are bigoted and racist. But it's the homie Matt. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Signing out from the Dogon. It's the homie Matt, man. I'm out.